Okay, starting with the cottage then.
Okay, there's the cottage up on the hill. It's kind of dark this morning in the shade. And we're going down the driveway.
Drop the damn Dramamine.
We're going down the driveway.
Wait, get rattlesnake. Get rattlesnake
Oh, well, Nancy,
mountain.
backing up to get rattlesnake.
Just
Mountain.
for me, she's backing up.
Backing up.
Backing up.
There's the old farmhouse built in 1885. Daniel and I lived there for about 20 years. And there, get rattlesnake. That's rattlesnake mountain. This really flattens it out. It doesn't really look big.
That's Rattlesnake Mountain. And one of my favorite features in this entire area is the 1984 flower garden, or the customized flower pot. It's the Ford Ranger flower pot. Also known as yard art.
When you come back, you can saw up that tree for me.
All right, I can do that. I got a Husqvarna. Seriously, I'll bring my Husqvarna up here and we'll get Mr. Chuck to fix it and get it running.
Well, my Echo isn't running.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. There's the pond. The pond is right over there where we kayak,
We need
right?
to clear that too, Nancy, so I can have a better view.
Well, as soon as I can get my dog to think he's a dog and act like a dog instead of a freak,
Okay,
I could spend the whole summer up here with you.
you. The driveway gets flooded clear to here.
you said it was like sheet flow, right?
Yeah, it just runs off the creek and floods.
So this time we're going to make, I'm narrating this, we're going to make a left turn, correct?
Back the way we came
Back
in.
the way we came.
At
So
midnight.
I get the
Daytime.
daytime view of what occurred
In the dark.
in the dark,
Okay.
which happened to be, I would say, of all the videos I took, the most hilarious video in the whole wide world.
Okay, so my property comes to right here. Behind the cottage comes right down to here. This is the McKinney's property, and this is where Larry Dale lives, who was graduated in my class at Fort Myers, and he lived here for 2 years before he ever even met me because he was afraid to come past all the "I'll shoot you if you trespass" signs. Hi, Larry.
I want to get...
Look, this is the old farmhouse, the McKinney farmhouse. It's falling down. You can hardly
can't
see
really
it
see
in
that
there.
Farmhouse in there.
In the
And
fall.
there, wave Chuck. There's my friend Chuck Ross.
Okay.
And I'm learning to talk with a North Carolina accent. I won't come back to Florida with an accent. I'm not bringing anybody anything except an accent.
Well, they always ask me, why do you come back from being in Florida for the whole winter and you don't have a tan? You've been vacationing. Yeah.
Well, we got you out on the water that one day with my friend Wesley.
Funny thing, I put on sunscreen so you could hardly tell. There's the dirt pile.
Oh, that's right. Instead of midnight autos, we're going to be midnight dirt piles.
That's the McCain farmhouse.
That's cool. It's nice.
That's the other oldest house.
We're going a little too fast, so most people who see this are going to get
All you've got is
kind
a
of
picture.
dizzy. What am I taking?
Maybe better. I'm just trying to get you to picture what the road looks like. You can see the bumps, huh? The grader man hasn't been here too.
Can you push me forward, Chuck?
Go.
Go ahead.
They grade the road every once in a while. Chucky's been here recently because it's like marbles.
When they grade it probably loosens it instead of, it just smooths it and loosens
Look,
it
here's
versus
the gully.
versus packing it. And we can tell we're in North Carolina right now because if we were in Georgia, we wouldn't have gone over those bumps. True story, Chuck. We're driving through Georgia, and Barb says, you know, North Carolina State doesn't really maintain their roads roads the way Georgia does, and you're pretty much going to know when we're in the Georgia county, when we cross the Georgia county line, and we're going the Georgia state line, and we're in the North Carolina state. So we're not in there for 30 seconds, and all of a sudden the truck goes boom, 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 boom. There's this big patch of road that was poorly patched,
It was right on the state line.
right on the state line. So you
Right
knew.
right next
Welcome
to,
to North Carolina.
Yeah, right next to the sign. that
Right.
says,
Welcome to North Carolina. Boom, 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 boom.
Hey,
Well, the state DOT needs to get their act together. Actually, the patch wasn't that bad. It was a pretty good patch. It wasn't pocketed. That type of patch was a more professional patch than
okay,
just
you
a
want
pocketed
some
patch.
history of Turtle Pond?
Yes,
Road?
absolutely.
Okay, this used to be a one-lane little wagon trail. Okay, and in the Depression years, the county turned over all of the roads to the state of North Carolina because the Macon County people couldn't afford to maintain. So starting after the Depression, the state DOT would come out here and improve the road. So now they have improved the road without owning any right-of-way. They have improved the road from a one-lane wagon trail to a road where you can pretty much pass two vehicles anywhere.
You call this a passing road?
Yeah. Yeah, because there's room to pull over and let somebody go by.
Right.
When Grandpa bought the
Not
property,
if you're a big old truck like Chuck, there isn't.
hey,
You go down this road okay, Chuck, in your big truck?
yeah, yeah. When Grandpa bought
My tour guide.
when Grandpa bought the property in 1961, it was literally a one-lane car road, not a wagon road.
So he literally wanted to get out of...
Seriously, it was a one-lane road with about 4 or 5 places where you could pull over and let somebody pass. You could not pass unless somebody backed up to the closest pullout.
Wow.
Grandpa was driving a big Cadillac. He was from Florida. And bless you, Grandpa, but you were a really bad driver. And nobody in the car. There were only about 3 people who lived out here who weren't locals at the time in 1960. So Grandpa would sit there in his Cadillac, and the local guy in his pickup would keep waiting for him to back up because there could have been a pullout like 200 feet behind Grandpa, and he wouldn't back
Oh, and
up.
he didn't know the protocol.
He didn't back up. So the guy in the pickup truck would have to back up a quarter of a mile and pull over to let the Cadillac go by.
That's funny. He must have stuck out like a sore thumb in a Cadillac up here.
Yep. So look, the fact that it was back up to pass means this is a much better improved road, but they don't have any right of way. So they cannot pave it unless we give them a 50-foot right of way to put the pavement in the ditches. Okay? We're not giving them.
Got him. Gotcha.
We're not giving them for free. I said when you come.
So who has that decision? Like the HOA or the municipality of Ohio?
Whoever owns the piece of property decides if they want to give the right of way.
Oh, okay.
So on our property, there is literally 1.1 miles of Turtle Pond
Okay.
on our property. When we went out the other day and we passed the brown fence with a beautiful field, and then we hit the pavement, the reason there's pavement there is because that's National Forest, and the National Forest government people gave it to the state DOT government people. Okay?
Right.
But on Turtle Pond down here, we would not give it. So we still have this nice bumpy gravel road.
And that's how you want to keep it.
I'm keeping it that way.
I hear you. Might as well, if you want to get away and get unplugged, might as well stay unplugged. Don't make the access anymore.
That we missed in the dark. The one you made fun of.
Oh, that was hysterical.
Yeah.
But go to this overlook, Chuck, okay? She's going about 50, and all of a sudden she goes, and I'm like, what just happened? And there's just this dark abyss in front of us.
There was
Oh, we're going to go look at the overlook.
That's not exactly true.
That
There
is
there was a railing.
Okay, there was a railing. So we get out. So first we're just talking, and I'm sort of like, what is Barbara doing? In the middle of the night, it's like almost midnight. It's pitch black. We can't see shit. Oh, we're going to go at the overlook. And I'm like, we're getting out of the truck to do this? Yes. We get out. I like turn on my flashlight.
But all we could see was the headlights of the truck were like hitting the fog and the moisture, and you couldn't see anything. So I said, I'm going to turn off the lights. And she goes,
And it got really dark.
Yeah.
But then we could see the lights of Clayton. We could see the city lights down there. It really
And
wasn't,
Clemson.
Yeah, we could see all the way down towards Wawa. It wasn't foggy at all at midnight. It usually is. Okay.
So I'm assuming that cutoff is going to be on this side of the
Yep.
road.
On the cliff
All
side.
right, let me get my, well, I don't have my shoes on right now, so.
It's all right. Now that Chuck is with us, and it's a tradition to take a picture at the overlook every trip. Okay. So we're going down
So now
there.
Chuck has turned from barbecue extraordinaire to photographer. Chuck
Yeah.
holds multiple titles.
Well, let me go flying
That's
past
kind of a
it,
gorge,
Chuck.
isn't it? Right there.
Well, let me go flying past it because I'm so used to getting on this road and just heading to Florida. Well, okay. I think it's right around this.
Holy
Whoa.
smokes.
Power guide.
Got a bucket truck coming by us.
There we go. There we go.
I almost want to go down to 76.
I'm gonna go down there and turn. Oh, they just pulled in. Whipping it back. This is where we went down, coming from the other direction. Blue
That
Valley-
Dramamine better kick in soon.
Blue Valley Overlook.
Blue Valley Overlook, not a hella force. My brother would like to see that since his property is right by Nantahala.
Okay, look, it is foggy this morning. There's more fog.
All right, I'm gonna basically I'm gonna cut it off at 12 minutes, and then
Yeah.
we'll have part 2 after I get my shoes on.
It's a little foggy this morning.